Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Chained Echoes. With a style like Chrono Trigger and a story like Final Fantasy Tactics, is Chained Echoes the next big indie JRPG? Chained Echoes is available on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and PC. Should you wish to buy it, it'll cost you $25, but it is also available via Xbox Game Pass, and the game is pretty long, around 23 to 40 hours, depending on if you want to do all of its numerous side activities. So what exactly is Chained Echoes? Well, it's a turn-based RPG with pixel graphics that feels a bit like a long-lost late SNES era game, except with plenty of modern ideas injected to keep it fresh. You play as up to 14 unique characters, which I won't go into detail, but what is important is a massive wartime disaster was instigated by accident by one of them, essentially wiping a whole city off the map. The ripple effect of this caused political unrest across the other nations, with some vying for peace and others war, and almost all of them performing some kind of subterfuge. The story has a lot going on with its interconnected politics, but never becomes too overwhelming, with the character stories and their alignment to the overarching narrative always remaining interesting. The main loop of the game is a typical JRPG with a few minor improvements. Between story beats, you're basically tossed into some impressively large zones given leeway to explore. These zones have all sorts of secrets, from hidden walls, treasures, side quests, and more. Completing them not only gives item and cash rewards, but also fills out your bounty board, a large interconnected list of requirements that gives rewards for both completing these mini goals, as well as fairly significant upgrades for making large chains. Characters themselves don't gain XP per se, but leveling is achieved by getting a particular item, either through the bounty board or by killing certain bosses. Levels allow you to pick new skills, be they active, passive, or a stat boost, and all characters are very unique and often have skills that can synergize off other characters. Participating in battles will reward you instead with SP, which is used to upgrade those various skills, which is more in line with that traditional RPG leveling setup. Characters can also equip subclasses, which, when those skills are mastered, can be equipped without needing the subclass to be active. Combat itself is turn-based with one fairly significant twist: overdrive. Basically, getting hit or doing any combat action will raise your overdrive meter. When the meter hits the green zone, your party does more damage, and, in a massive boon, all moves cost half SP. Go too far, however, and you'll overheat, making your party take more damage. While in overdrive, certain types of skills will lower the meter, meaning you'll be playing tug of war, trying to both stay in overdrive while playing optimally. In addition, party members are assigned in duos, and you can swap to the partner during that duo's turn for a dip in overdrive. Knowing which characters to partner up and then swap into becomes crucial for the game's harder bosses. It's worth noting the game fully heals your SP and health after each battle, which is my personal favorite mechanic in JRPGs, which means each battle you are expected to go all out with your abilities and master the synergies. And honestly, that's basically the main loop of Chained Echoes. Visit zones, shoot to complete some micro goals, all while building your characters and playing some extremely engaging combat. So what did I like about Chained Echoes? Well, to sound like a broken record, the combat system is divine, and might be one of my favorite turn-based combat systems ever. It melds the swap characters as a free action system from Final Fantasy X, with a heavy emphasis on debuffs and team strategy, and the overdrive meter both helping and hindering throughout is just icing on the cake. Additionally, this game's graphics and music are phenomenal, with the visuals reminding me a lot of Chrono Trigger, with larger sprites and lush backgrounds, and the music being exceptional. And lastly, I really liked the characters and story in this game. With there being so many, I was worried some would fall through the cracks, but each character is fairly unique and have their own individual goals and motivations, which really pull this whole thing together. When it comes to the bad, while the battles are great, their difficulty and requirement of tactics means every battle, even against weaker enemies, will take at least a little brain power, which some might find annoying. Additionally, the story and world, while having a lot of depth, does offload a ton of world building and exposition in the early hours, and I'll admit at some point my eyes started glazing over and I was like, come on, let's just get on with the story. And lastly, some of the smaller side requirements, such as finding hidden treasures and whatnot, aren't easy to do because of the large zones, and since you'll want to find them all to fill out your board, some of this led to some frustration. As you know, every game's here in a 3-point scale, must play, maybe consider, don't bother. I absolutely think you should play Chained Echoes, and I think it is a hidden gem. I am so happy to have played Chained Echoes. The combat is exceptional, the progression loop is addicting, the story and characters are rich and deep, and the pixel art is charming. This is basically the best possible Super Nintendo RPG released in modern time we could ask for. If you have any affinity for that era of games, you should play this. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you played Chained Echoes, please let me know in the comments, but regardless, make sure you go out there and give it a look. It's great.